Welcome to the pre-show, everybody. We didn't have a show on Halloween last night. How's your Halloween go, T?
That was pretty good. Passed out candy to the trick or treaters.
Nice. Wario. How's
Helped out with my
Wario?
nephews and things like that.
Fun, fun. We didn't do shit. We stayed at home, watch horror movies. My daughter is not good with trick or treating. She's not great at it, and we don't ever have anybody in our neighborhood anyway. So,
She enjoy the horror movie at least.
uh, no, she
Not
did
to
not watch any
say,
horror movies.
she seems a bit young, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She's autistic and will knock on the door and she'll just walk in. Like last time, it was a few years ago we went, but she went in, walked, sat on the dude's couch and just started hanging out. At one house, she grabbed the controller, like started changing the channel. Um, but yeah, we do rapid fire show from news. Today, Image Comics has announced that their in-house employees are forming a union, which is pretty dope. More power to the people. We'll talk more about that next week on Sunday's show. Man, I'm still moving. You can't even really tell, but this shelf right here in the background is cleaned off, and a couple of shelves down here. I still have a long, long way to go, but I didn't read shit. I kind of enjoyed having Halloween off because I used all the time to just be very proactive in moving. But holy shit, Inferno, I did read it, and man, it
Yeah.
was rad. My favorite part was probably Destiny going, "Do you want me to tell you how it's going to go, Charles?" I was like, "Oh,
That was a cool
yes,
line, but
yes."
a couple of things got under my skin though. Like, first of all, Nightcrawler, you do not have a good relationship with Mystique. Why the fuck do you suddenly care
I
about
mean,
making her happy?
sure, but I don't know. It's kind of like a new day. He's really leaned into it's a whole new day for mutants, and he always wanted that relationship
Okay, sure.
to
I mean,
be
it's not complete.
good.
It's not out of character, but it is like
Yeah.
frustrating.
No, I agree 100%. Not out of character, but yeah, like really, dude, really.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
the other thing though that bugged me was like, okay, so Xavier and Magneto, like they've been told, okay, the one thing you have to do is make sure Destiny doesn't come back, and they know that Mystique, the shapeshifter, is the one most likely to thwart that goal.
Yeah.
And so they make it where anyone who looks like Magneto and then anyone who looks like Xavier can get all the tools they need to bring Destiny back. Yeah. That was so easy. I was expecting like this really elaborate scheme that Mystique had to go through, but she didn't.
She just sort of did it.
She was perfectly equipped with her well-known power set to just walk in and do it whenever she wanted.
Yeah, it seems kind of like, I don't know, because I don't want it to seem, I don't want to come out like I'm being, oh, Hickman is writing Magneto and Professor X out of character to make Moira seem more competent. But you're right, dude. They seem like they're just kind of bumbling and stumbling through this. It's like, yeah, that was your own. Why don't you just murder her ass? If it's that important. I don't know. There is this duality between those two and what Moira has said. It feels like they've leaned 100% into what Moira has told them about what's going to happen, but yet they're not really following through with it like they should be. I don't know. This bickering with Moira when it was all her fucking idea to begin with. It's like, where do you two get off? I don't know.
But I did like the whole thing with like Colossus coming in to be the new Quiet Council member. That'll be fun. He's one of my favorite X-Men, so it'd be cool to see him on the council.
And he's been great in this new status quo. He's been the farmer, away from everything. It sort of feels like the worker coming to the government table finally.
Yeah, that's a cool thing to lean into. Like him, he has like the yeoman's perspective.
Exactly, dude. And I don't know how far they're going to go with this in X-Force, but he's still basically, a big mole for what I'd consider the I don't know, the most cemented villain, Mikhail. In terms of the villains that the X-Men have now, yes, there's Orcus. Yes, there's, whatever is going on in the new X-Men book by Duggan. But Mikhail has actually done, I think, the most damage. The Russians, with all their shit that they've been throwing at Krakoa and all that.
Yeah, hard to dispute.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for stopping by, Andy. Yeah, if nothing's convoluted, then it's not working right. If we don't have nothing to bitch about, then you're not writing a good comic.
The X-Men in particular, like between like time travel and like the really sloppy like romantic triangles that they have going on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, the
it's a real
Cocoon Age has leaned
clusterfuck.
into that hard, with
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Well, yeah. I
and
mean,
the
it's how
Summers.
it's kind of refreshing. Like, hey, let's just be a throuple. Good
Yeah.
for them, honestly. But
What else? Again, I read Sword. It was solid. It was solid.
yeah, Sword was good. I do kind of wish they'd get back to like the core team for Sword. It basically has become the
That
Araco book,
cliffhanger,
and that's
that
cool.
cliffhanger,
Well, that's true. That is true.
that definitely got back, and I was like,
Okay,
"What?
so
You were my favorite one, dude.
my
My
prediction:
favorite one."
this is 100% Abigail Brand playing Gyrick.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
Oh, for sure.
he's a pseudo double agent.
Yeah, or maybe a triple agent, and Orcus is playing both of them.
Who knows? I mean, Gyrick
Ooh.
does suck. I mean, he is
Oh, yeah,
not an
he's
asset to
terrible.
whatever organization
Yeah.
he's in. He always just makes things worse instead of better.
Yeah, dude, he's terrible. He is terrible. Uh, Another thing that I find frustrating about Sword is they're this close to saying, "Okay, we need an Iraqi X-Men team." They were this close. This close.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool to see him just pull the trigger on that, get it done with.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Storm can be in the book. I mean, she's like the head of the Iraqi government and everything.
Exactly. Anything else you read that you want to mention from last week before we start talking about what's coming out this week?
I've gotten started on that long Halloween special thing that came out
Fun.
last week that I'd
Yeah.
read a little bit of it on Halloween. Great Tim Sale art, worth it for that
Nice.
alone. But I get the feeling though that this is one of those things where like Long Halloween was good as is. Like, I feel like you can only like diminish it by like following up with like Gilda Dent, which appears to be what they're doing. Because that was a great way to end that book. Like, oh shit, none of them saw Harvey's wife being like, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old comic, I guess, but Harvey's wife being like the actual killer. And like, I don't necessarily need them to follow up on that thread,
Yeah. It's good, like you said, for the art though. Cool. Yeah. We might talk more about those books next week if we feel like it. I bought another G.I. Joe today. I'll get into that sometime next year. But awesome. Let's get into this shit, man. Let's get into this show.
Mm-hmm.
So many books this week. Well, not as many as last week.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Sure. How dare we?
We got to do hubris for 3 today,
How dare we?
We need to like up our hubris game.
Yeah, man, I didn't do nothing this week but move stuff. Sucks. It'll be worth it. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It's another episode of This Geek in Comics, our Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
It's Gomer and Taylor. It's just us two, Gruesome Twosome tonight. Talking about the previews. Had an okay. Thanks, Frankie.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Frankie's one of the only people I agree with about, I'd say 90% of everything on social media. It's actually kind of strange. It's kind of weird. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, man. Moving, like when you're moving from one place to another, it's not just, hey, I'm picking up all my stuff and I'm taking it somewhere else. No, you pick up all your stuff and you move it little by little to one spot. And then you move all that stuff again and then again and again. And it's so tiring. My back didn't hurt until this morning when I sat down in my chair, this chair, to start working. Because anytime I was either standing or laying down because I was hurting so bad. But anyway, that's
I mean, it must be tough being in your 60s like you are,
Oh, I'm old as fuck. On that note, that is not the right. Oh, you want to do it like this?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's just us two. We're not hurting anybody. If you see something, say something. Yeah, moving sucks. I don't know if I like that, how it bounces us up like that.
It is a little disorienting.
We're going to do this.
Yeah, let's just stick with what works.
Yeah, let's stick with what we know. Let's not get fancy. StreamYard's throwing all kind of awesome at us. But again, we're just going to talk about all of the books that are coming out this week. If you see something, say something. Meaning, if you're in the chat and you see a book and you want us to talk about it, we will talk about it, no matter how much we know or how much or little we know. So yeah, if you see something, say something. We start at DC because those books come out first. They come out tonight at midnight on the 2nd. I can't believe we're in fucking November already. And this year, it's like, I can't believe we're in November of 2021 already. We skipped the whole year and a half somehow.
it seems like 2021 started last week, you know?
Yeah, we're definitely in a simulation. Okay, that's all there is to it.
Ah, well.
Anyway, American Vampire.
I mean, I never checked out this 1976, but the original
Yeah.
American Vampire is really good. So this is one of those things where, like, if you haven't checked it out, probably worth at least, thumbing through it, see if you like what you see.
Yeah, Arkham City, The Order of the World. I don't know. It's okay. It's exactly what you'd think it is. It's a book about the Arkham residents. It's supposed to be sort of like a twist on horror, the villain. It's not bad. It's going to make for a better trade, I think.
That does look like a good facsimile of like McKean's art from like the old Grant Morrison Arkham Asylum.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're going for. So yeah, it's going to make a better trade. I think. Moving on, I think we had a mention. Hold on. Frankie mentioned The Imposter. The art was amazing. The story just feels like a revamp of every Batman origin story ever. Yeah, there's this little twist where he's a little bit, edgier, I guess, but I don't know. I'm off Batman though. I'm a Batman hater right now. And leaning into that. Batman number 116, the final countdown of James Tynion's run continues. I'm not reading it.
This is consistently mediocre, like it's fine, but all this stuff that they've been doing where they have anchored themselves to Fear State. No, sorry, not Fear State, to
Future State.
Future State, yeah. I got my states mixed up, my bad.
It's hard, dude. It's a lot.
Yeah, everything that's been like with the possible, if we wanted to count Tom Taylor's Son of Kal-El as something that's anchored to Future State, I wouldn't really, but that's the only thing that's been like good. That's like Future State related.
Though, really? I mean,
the actual Future State thing with John itself was garbage. Yeah. Like he was a terrible Superman in that book.
Terrible Superman, but and it kind of worries me because I like the direction Tom Taylor's taken with that character, but I don't want that direction to lead.
I don't want him to like Kandor fucking Metropolis. That'd be a terrible way to get things going. But anyway,
yeah. Lieber Mayhew does his take of Batman Meets A Christmas Carol. This is actually really cool. I mean, it's Lieber Mayhew art. You can't go wrong there.
I mean, if you're just picking up that book for the art, you probably won't be disappointed.
Yeah. And the story's kind of cool. It's fun. It's
a fun idea. Yeah.
Reptilian penultimate issue. I've been off this. Eli from Over the Comic Book Bully says it's nice. He's having a good time with it, but. The Authorities, one shot by Philip Kennedy Johnson. A fun creative team here. Ben Templesmith even getting in on some art. But again, I'm going to skip this too. I'm not. Man, I hate that I'm reading so little, DC stuff.
But hey, I mean, there are those old reliables from DC, which we had like a couple weeks ago. So I don't think they'll be out this week. Yeah. But
the adventure continues. This is exactly what it promises. It's the Batman the Animated Series going on.
Yeah.
Big Punk and Catboy. I don't even think those are DC books. Or this Crush and Lobo. I don't know anyone who's reading this, but I've heard it's been solid. Mariko Tamaki knows her way around a comic book, so it's characters I'm not really interested in.
Yeah, Lobo's always been a little too much of an edgelord for me, and if I'm not on board for Lobo, I'm not going to be on board for Crush. But
he's got that '90s thing going, for sure. Daphne Byrne gets collected from the Hill House stuff. Probably the big release of the week from over here at the Distinguished Competition is Tom Taylor's take on a medieval DC Comics.
You know what? I'm on board for this one.
Me too. I mean,
Tom Taylor does really good Elseworld stuff, and it's Tom fucking Taylor. So
exactly. He thrives when he is not limited by continuity, when he just can work within the foundation and build upon it. And I'm so glad they let him. Again, Injustice, Deceased. Now what the hell ever he's got going on over at Marvel. I don't even remember the name of it, but it's cool. Lights Out or whatever. No, that ain't it. It's something like that though.
And the interior lines look pretty good. I'm not familiar with Yasmin here, but it looks really good from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I want to read some solid King Arthur takes.
Hell yeah,
that sort of shit. DC Horror, Soul Plumber. Dave will definitely be talking about this if he is on the show next week. He has a good time with this book. None of these are DC except for the Soul Plumber. Fun girl. Yeah, man. I think these are all Vault and shit comics, dude.
I guess it's
Vault or
just
something.
like this lunar publisher that DC uses. I guess it's just all their things.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're picking up a lot more publishers to distribute, and
Yeah.
they haven't separated. Yeah, those are indie comics. I think Vault and perhaps Scout. There are a couple of publishers who also go through Lunar. Lunar, when they first started, last year, early last year, well, middle of last year, they just did DC, but they're fixing to get a lot more stuff. They're about to get a lot more stuff, but hopefully they fix their site, to where it's segmented a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, now
Another
that they're
big,
not just DC,
yeah,
that it would be really helpful for them to like organize it by
they're
publisher.
going to start pushing Marvel now too. Marvel's going through
Oh.
Penguin Random House. Lunar's just going to be a sublet, of them.
Gracious me.
Another big release here, Tom King, Greg Smallwood.
Man, okay, so I really enjoyed
know.
Tom King's minis. I really enjoyed Mr. Miracle. I really enjoyed Strange Adventures. And so that's got me excited. And even more excited, though, Greg Smallwood.
Yeah.
Greg Smallwood drew that Moon Knight book from a couple years ago, and that was some of the best art I've seen in a really long time. So
wonderful.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this.
This seems more of a, I don't know, maybe like a Cloak and Dagger sort of book, and I don't mean the heroes.
Yeah.
I mean sort of like a spy and things like that.
It does seem like it's more of a spy book for sure.
Yeah. Tom King, that's where he came out of. He was like
That's
a
true.
CIA guy. So
I mean, he
this could
does
be a
have
good thing.
more firsthand experience than perhaps anyone else who could step up to the plate for this. So
Yeah. I mean, I love Tom King. His Vision run is groundbreaking.
Oh, hell yeah. I didn't
but-
even mention Vision from him like
but
my
man,
list a second ago, but yeah.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence with Human Target. We'll see how it goes. Icon and Rocket. The milestone stuff continues to be great. We're gonna have more of that out next year. Joker hardcore or hardcover volume 1. This is the James Tynion and Guillaume March. This is the one that Adam can't stop raving about. Love that cover. Holy crap!
Yeah, I mean, the way he described it, it's basically like Smoking Aces, but starring like DC characters. So hey, that's fun.
Puzzle Box by Rosenberg. I'm off this. It's just okay. It's just all right. Yeah, Justice League Infinity, that is carrying on like the animated show.
Yeah, it looks like one for the kids.
Yeah, and then a bunch of indie stuff. Mr. Miracle, The Source of Freedom. This has been the Brandon Easton book. Fico Azio is a great artist, but I'm just not a fan of this book at all. It's just all right. My bad. That's another indie. We're getting there. There's a lot of indie stuff over here. Which covers that, Frankie? The Joker one. I've heard good things.
Going with the maze, yeah, it looked pretty cool. I like the way like the blood made his mouth and everything.
Yeah, I'll go back because I want to look at both of those. But this cover I thought was the one he was talking about. But yeah, it might have been this one. It is pretty rad.
I think that is pretty clever the way they did the maze there.
Yeah, they're both pretty cool.
I'm actually surprised we're seeing more. We're seeing almost as many, if not more, indie stuff than they are DC stuff. Nowadays.
I think it's just that this particular publisher just throws all of their stuff out for the month on one day.
Yeah, but you're right. They absolutely need to like clean up their presentation here.
Yeah, Vita Ayala. The Human Target cover. Oh yeah, that is cool, man.
That was really cool. Yeah, and I'm Greg Smallwood is the man.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence for that book, but I don't know.
I'm embarrassed how long it took me to realize this was an Akira homage.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's so good. Yeah, that might be the cover of the week. It's rad.
That's really clever. It really is.
Superman 78 continuing the first Superman movie. Swamp Thing #9. Probably the most underrated thing happening at DC right now. Not enough people are reading this. It's fantastic. It's very, very good.
I mean, Swamp Thing's got a great pedigree. Like it's either Swamp Thing or Daredevil that's like the best pound for pound runs list. But this one's really good.
Teen Titans Academy #7.
Yeah.
Same here. And getting to the end here. Yeah, Why the Last Man Compendium #1. It's a tie-in cover. Classic. If you haven't read it, if you don't have it, go get it.
Absolutely. Why the Last Man is fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, but it looks like once again they're pimping out something that didn't last on TV though.
They're trying to shop it around. It might get pushed.
I hope they
to
succeed. I do.
somewhere else. I don't really care. I didn't pick up on the show. I just didn't. I just sort of
Yeah.
skipped it.
But
I was
it's
going to
just
try to
like
catch up
this kind of reminds me of the whole Jupiter's Legacy situation, though. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, the indie stuff is great, Michelle. I love, the smaller press stuff. It's just really hard to talk about it all, There's just so much of it.
Yeah.
Getting into everybody else, back over to Marvel. This book's come out Wednesday, November 3rd. Well, we'll get into Marvel in a second, but A Thing Called Truth, a chaotic LGBTQ road trip. Looks interesting. Iolanda Zanferdino and Elisa Romboli. Looks pretty good. I mean, great comic book art. It's only a couple page preview, so we're not really sure what it is, but a couple of nice variants. Not much from Image. They do have Frontiersman #2. First issue was great. Magic Order 2 #1. Magic Order is a book. Yeah, that was an Akira reference. It's very, very cool. I might get it just for that Akira reference. That Static Shock.
I was going to pick it up anyway, but I do hope to get that Akira cover.
Nice. The Magic Order was kind of like an adult Harry Potter, like a bunch of magicians who were grown up just fighting each other. And it was okay, but it left a little bit to be desired. Like I wish it would have been a little bit more. And not more like longer, like more like get into what's going on with these characters a little bit more. It was very surface level. So maybe this will add a little bit of depth to that overall universe that is really kind of fun, like it really is. It's like Harry Potter, but away from school. You know what I mean? Just living in that wizarding, universe.
So like some urban fantasy type of setting stuff?
Yeah. Me You Love in the Dark, #4. This is the second to last issue. Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. This has been great. It's about an artist who goes away into the country to find, herself a little bit more and find her spark in creativity. And the house is haunted, and she falls in love with this ghost. The ghost sort of becomes her muse, and it's wonderful, dude. It's such a cool book. A new one from over here in Image, Chip Zdarsky. Arguably the biggest name in comics right now.
For sure. I mean, he's been hot for a while now.
Yeah. But it's a private detective, sort of a hard-boiled thing. I did read a few pages of the first issue, and it's exactly what you'd expect from something like this book. Zdarsky doing a hard-boiled, sort of crime thing, and it's solid. It's solid. Nice Lula Lotte cover there. Primordial #2. This is probably my Image book I'm looking forward to the most. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. They have another project that they're working on for next year already. This is about when we sent animals into space during the Cold War. The dogs and the monkeys that we sent went through a portal and something crazy happened. That's basically the gist of the story, but really it's all driven by that Sorrentino art. It's so creative. It's so dynamic. Yeah, dude. This team is just amazing. Gideon Falls, when it was on shelves, it was the best thing on shelves every week. Their Green Arrow was hot. Their Old Man Logan was hot. They're coming back to something at Marvel or DC. I don't remember what it is, but this book is great. Yeah, the first issue just knocked it out of the park, and I'm so excited to get my hands on issue 2. Silver Coin, man, it's another great series. This is an anthology series with a little bit of a twist. Typical anthology series. It's one writer doing the whole thing. It has a different artist for each issue. This is oh yeah, that's right. No, is it Sorrentino on that book? Oh yeah, I guess it is Sorrentino.
I'll take his word for it, but
yeah, on that Imposter.
But yeah, here we got Michael Walsh getting a real murderer's row of writers to come on and write a horror anthology.
Yeah, the first one had Zdarsky, it had Kelly Thompson, I think Tynion was even in on. There were a lot of folks.
I think so, yeah.
On that shit. The second volume starting with Joshua Williamson. He is the new guy at DC Comics. He's the next guy to be on Batman. He's writing at least 4 books for them right now, and he's not on Batman yet. So, yeah, this is going to be great. It's all about this magic coin, this cursed coin that, oh yeah, even Jeff Lemire had a story in that first run, but
Oh yeah, I think so.
yeah, it's all just one writer's take on Michael Walsh's idea that there's this cursed coin that keeps going around, and it's a fantastic series, very well done. That's about it. We get a Spawn, we get 2 Moons, which is still pretty good, more of a like a Western, a supernatural Western. It's very good. And it wouldn't be a week at Image without a Walking Dead. Colorized up to issue 26 already.
I mean, always, right? I mean,
Yep.
this
crazy.
is
It's crazy.
always going to be coming out because it makes them a fuck ton of money, right? And honestly,
Exactly.
since it does, I can't begrudge them. It seems a
Yeah.
little silly to me to go back and buy like a 15-year-old comic book just like reprinted like this.
Right.
But hey, I mean, there's obviously an audience for it.
Yeah, and good for them. It looks like, I'm just gonna roll through these. Dark Horse has a lot, but they really don't. It's a hardcover Beast of Burden, a Blade of the Immortal, Buckaroo Banzai. All these are collected. Critical Role gets a new issue. If you're into Critical Role, I'm not really a fan. And then a bunch of Dune merch. Dune was awesome.
Oh, I did finally get around to seeing Dune, and it was.
Did you go to the theater and see it?
I did go to the theater, yeah.
Oh, it's worth it for the sound, I bet, alone.
Yeah, like all the sci-fi spectacle of it is quite a lot in the theater. But anyway, back to this.
A new Hellboy comic is coming out. That's always fun. Last Flight Out was very cool. It's about like the end of the world. The scientist goes to a, torn up Chicago in the midst of, the world coming to an end and trying to get his daughter out. Lucky Devil. This is a solid book where a demon possesses a guy and he gets it exorcised, but he only exorcises the demon and keeps the power. So it's a real fun twist there. Colin Bunn's writing that one. He's very good at horror. Orphan and the Five Beasts is coming out. That's James Stokey.
Yeah, kind of like I guess a kung fu story, but like really over the top.
Orphan and the Five Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of brutal violence. It's James Stokey. He's known for just having great pencils, really. Yeah, Dave raves so much about it. He loves that sort of art. And that's it. We do get a Stranger Things winter special for anybody interested in that. Let's see who's writing that. Chris Robertson and Abel is doing the art. So for fans of Stranger Things. IDW has nothing. They do have the Best of April O'Neil, which if you're a fan of these Biggie covers, you should definitely pick them up. In the latest issue of Previews, they are doing a Transformers run of these Best of books, and Biggie is doing the covers on those too.
Those really have been, like the Turtles worked better because you had the whole like color motif going, but like this is pretty cool looking too.
Yeah. They just look great on a wall, and I really want to get all of the Transformers ones. Like his version of Optimus Prime looks freaking cool, just his cartoony sort of version. But
I don't doubt it.
And we get the Mirror War #2, the big Star Trek: The Next Generation event in the Mirror universe. It's been fantastic. They've had 2 issues, even though this is the second issue. They had a 0 issue. I'm a sucker for that shit, man. I am a sucker. And
I mean, you seem like an easy lay for like a Next Generation.
I'm the mark. I'm the mark for this shit. Yeah, I am the mark. All right, here it is. Getting into the Marvel Amazing Fantasy penultimate issue. This has been not a bad series, but kind of disappointing. I really wanted it to be a lot more.
I mean, I get that. I mean, part of me wishes maybe they split their focus a little too much, going between like these 3 point of view characters. Might have been better if like we're just following Cap or we're just following Natasha. But
yes,
that being said, it is still like insane shit, right? I mean, last issue had like Cap and his army of cat people facing off against like Uncle Ben and his dragons, and Natasha and her centaurs.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it's supposed to be.
It is goofy fun, so it does deliver on that front, but it's really just the goofiness here. There's like, it's not like Weird World from a few years ago where there was like more to it than just like that's insane factor.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it. Darkhawk continues. I don't know anybody reading that.
No idea.
Death of Doctor Strange gets a second printing. Death of Doctor Strange starts to dribble into tie-ins with an Avengers tie-in. Not for me. Not something I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm not in this particular churn here.
And that's basically it, except for Star Wars. There is so much Star Wars. Star Wars number 18.
Scroll down a little bit. Let's see if Star Wars can fill up the whole page here.
Oh, it can.
Up close.
No, almost. Yep. Strange Academy presents The Death of Doctor Strange. Made it. But yeah, there's so much Star Wars. I mean, they're really putting all their money into the galaxy far, far away here. But yeah, War of the Bounty Hunters just will not end. Strange Academy presents The Death of Doctor Strange. Yeah, I don't know who this person is they're selling this to.
I mean, I've been enjoying
I've
been enjoying Strange Academy, but I don't think I'm going to get this particular tie-in for it. You know.
Yeah. And Mike Del Mundo is no slouch, but Humberto Ramos
not
is
at
the
all.
only reason to buy this book. This book is just okay for me. It's Harry Potter, like we were saying. It's Harry Potter in the Marvel Universe. I mean, it's fine. It's just it's just not for me. Winter Guard, almost done there. You know, trying to get a little bit of that Natasha money from Black Widow. X-Men Legends number 8 and Trial.
I mean, speaking of goofy fun, right? If X-Men Legends, but yeah, just a second printing for Trial of Magneto.
Now I am getting X-Men Legends number 8 just because I get everything X-Men. I am not sure, but I don't think there is another Marvel book that I'm buying this week.
This is a weirdly thin week for Marvel.
Weird. It's so nuts, dude.
That X-Men Legends is the only X book coming out, and that really doesn't even count because it's not like up-to-date continuity.
There were 4 last week.
That is some weird pacing they're doing.
It's actually in continuity that does not matter anymore.
Well, yeah, it's not like it's not the Krakoan status quo, you know. So I don't even really count this as an X book coming out this week.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. I'm getting it because I like all these old X-Men stories. I like that they're.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's fun, but
yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, if it wasn't for that book, and honestly, if the Krakoa shit wasn't going on, I might have skipped that too. Because I'm weird like that. Sometimes when X-Men isn't going well, I just skip it all. But yeah, it's a weird fucking week at Marvel, dude. There's just nothing coming out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I may not even go to the this week.
Amazing Fantasy kind of wins by default from Marvel here, but that's not a book I'm super excited about.
Exactly. Moving on to everybody else, the smaller press, Jennifer's Blood, all these other ones that are really expensive. These are just cool covers that they're trying to sell, special covers. And there's nothing wrong with that. Red Sonja number 3. Sheena the Jungle Queen actually gets a number 1. Stephen Mooney, Jethro Morales. I mean, again, it is what it is. When you go to Dynamite, there's always some cheesecake there.
Always.
But I mean, Sheena the Jungle Queen is a dope book, dude. I mean, she's fighting monsters and dinosaurs and shit. It's a pretty rad book.
I mean, Red Sonja and like Vampirella and Barbarella, they all like kick a lot of ass, but
and they're
undeniably cheesecake though,
Yeah, but like I'm reading Barbarella just because the art is just amazing. But she's really like sex positive and feminist. It really works.
And hey, that's cool. That is genuinely cool. But
even though like she got a butt that won't quit, she's real. I don't know. Maybe that's just complicated times. And the Vampiverse number 3, which is all the Vampirellas from all the different universes. Moving on. Boom has 3 books coming out this week, and they are all trades. What?
Lumberjanes is really good, but I did not know we were all the way up to volume 20. Jesus.
Yeah. And it's a huge preview, and it's a cool book, man. It's a very fun book.
If you've never checked out Lumberjanes, it is a pretty cool series.
Yeah, I heard they were doing an animated series at one point, but
yeah, I heard that like Noelle Stevenson was getting like leverage for that and like that Namina book that she does.
Yes.
So I guess she's still working on that because it doesn't seem like she's writing comics as much these days. But hey, I mean, you make that money, Noelle. You totally deserve it.
Do it.
Great writer. Deserves that money.
Moving on to everybody else, not much. Again, if you see something, say something. Agritsuko, Batman one number 100 is the variants are getting reprints. Looks like signed stuff, but Blade Runner from Titan Comics, Blue Baron, I don't even know what that is. By the Horns, yeah, I don't know what any of this is. Internet equals that sexist toxic masculinity. Yeah. Hey Eli. I miss you guys. It didn't feel like a Monday. I say that. I don't listen on Mondays. But they didn't have a show this week. For the first time in a while. Ooh, a Department of Truth number 1 signed for $65. That's actually a fucking bargain, dude. Yeah, that's actually a bargain. Department of Truth number 1, just raw, is going for like $40. A first print.
Well,
because they got that show announced now. So
this might be a decent investment opportunity.
It could be. A bunch of other Dynamic Forces, Digger number 1. There's just not much. Guillaume March, his book Laura is actually coming back. That looks good. This is when he can do a little bit more of his risque stuff, without the bonds of DC Comics.
Nice. I have no idea what's going on here, but it looks trippy as hell.
Yeah, it looks trippy, dude. Gun Honey number 1 up to 3rd print on that. I told everybody, look out for this book. I told everybody. No one believed me.
Well, I mean, you're not exactly the best.
I'm okay, though. I'm okay. 1 out of 5, man. 20%. Knighted. We'll take a look at the preview for Knighted, see what's going on here. It looks okay. Sorry, it looks like a little fun take on superheroes. I love that little headquarters. That's rad. All right, moving on. My Bad number 1. This is one of the ones we were talking about that is also coming out on Lunar. But it is Mark Russell. It is Bryce Ingram. And Peter Krause, a sharp superhero spoof from a stellar team that includes co-creators of Irredeemable and Second Coming. In Gravel City, the supervillain Emperor King has devised not only a sadistic death trap for his archenemy, the Accelerator, but also the means to penetrate the top secrets of his other archenemy, the Chandelier. Important new comic book universe begins here, we say sarcastically. So, yeah, this looks like classic Mark Russell, tongue-in-cheek satire on superhero stuff. So, I'm sure that will be a blast. I don't know what my top 3 are going to be this week. I ain't got a top 3 this week.
I mean, it is kind of slim pickings, honestly.
It is slim pickings. There ain't nothing. I mean, I'm looking through the rest of this. All right, we've come to the end.
Well, I am looking forward to... I would not have said this in my top 3 for just about any other week, but I would probably put that that Tom Taylor medieval superhero thing.
Yeah, I can't even remember the fucking name of the book either. I think it's A Knight's Tale by Batman.
Yeah, or like Steel Knight, or I don't remember. But
Steel Knight or something like that. But yeah, that's
Tom Taylor's medieval Superman thing, whatever.
Yeah. I'll throw Primordial number 2 on there, as odd as that is, and the Mirror War. I'm real hype on that.
I'm looking forward to trying out Human Target, I will say.
All right, you know what?
That sweet Greg Smallwood art.
With as much of a shitty week it is, I will get that book too, and we will talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Because it is a very, very light week for me. So awesome. It's been short, but hey, been fun. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. Keep coming back. We got shit going on all the time. The Bullies, like I said, did not have an episode this week, but they will be back next week right here on this channel. Come back and find them. Big Willie's doing shit throughout the week. We got our show next Sunday. Keep coming back to OutRightGeekery.com. We got a bunch of different links there to all kinds of different stuff. Swag, Patreon, all of the, different social media channels. It's insane. So a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. But most of all, thanks to this Joker for hanging out with this Joker.
Got your back, man.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Put his heart and soul into that one. You guys have no idea.
I mean, I feel like, I got to give it my A game.